What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? And Levon, unfortunately, couldn't make it this week, but he'll be back next week. Another action-packed week, or I guess 2 weeks, since we took a little hiatus. So we're back now. Definitely continue to tune in to our Monday and Tuesday, our topics. Wednesday's discussion. Thursday, sometimes we do an Ask SSP where we talk to somebody trying to break into the industry. And then Fridays is the weekly rundown. We talk about everything but cybersecurity, pretty much. So definitely like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and give us some good feedback. And without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this first article we're going to go through is from the hackernews.com, and it's from Ravi Lakshmanan. And the title of this one is Bugs in Wyze Cams Could Let Attackers Take Over Devices and Access Video Feeds. So the issue with this one, right? So there was 3 security vulnerabilities that got disclosed for the Wyze Cam devices that grant malicious actors to execute code and access camera feeds and unauthorized access to read the SD cards, right? So, okay, you're like, okay, we talk about this all the time, right? So the big deal with this one, though, is that Bitdefender actually made them aware of these issues back in March of 2019, right? And didn't report it to the public until January of 2022, right? So that's the big thing here is Bitdefender, you know, they're a company that's supposed to be out there making sure security is good in all these devices. And the fact that they took so long to report it is what's a little troubling to me here, right? So these Wyze Cams, now not to say that the company didn't do anything, right? So like in their version 2 and 3 cameras that they had, they released some fixes for these CVEs that they had from back in 2019, right? But there was the one with the SD video card, that one didn't get fixed until January 2029 for the firmware update for that one. And they didn't do it for version 1 of their camera. So version 2 and 3 were good, but version 1, they're just going to stop selling it. They're not going to do anything about it, but it sat there all this time because it was unreported, right? With people using these devices. Now, Bitdefender want to try to, they're in the business of looking out for people, right? With they're a security firm, pretty much is what they are, right? And so for them, they were like, hey, their reason for this is, you know, we wanted to give them opportunity to fix it, right? So, okay, you reported it back in March 2019, right? And here's a quote they put out on it. Let's see. So they were asked why they were silent, while Bitdefender was silent, right? And they said, knowing that we were actively working on risk mitigation and corrective updates, we came to the conclusion together that it was safest to be prudent about the details until the vulnerabilities were fixed. Well, now you're not working on the side of security at that point, right? So now you're trying to help a company keep their money, right? That's not your mission statement, so to speak. You know what I mean? But what's kind of ironic about this is that they say, okay, yeah, we were trying to wait for them to do something about it, but they actually, back in February 2020, there was an issue with these baby monitors, right, where they didn't wait this long to report it, and the company took action within 3 days, right? So now, Bitdefender, you're not staying consistent with what you're saying, right? Back in March 2019, you knew about something, right? You didn't let people know for 3 years, but in February 2020, there was something that you knew about that you released to the public, and the company fixed it in 3 days. That right there should have let you know the path you should have taken with this, right? In my opinion. But you know, I'm not Bitdefender, right? And I don't work for that company. I didn't make that decision, but this just makes me give them a little bit of a side eye, like, okay, well, what made you wait 3 years to put this out there for the masses when you have all of these, and especially when we talk about the Internet of Things, right? And all these devices out there that go without firmware updates and just get forgotten about and end up being, you know, attack vectors when it comes to cybersecurity risks. But Ryan, what's your thought on this, man?
So I do agree that consistency is not right? You can't rush one company then not rush another one. Maybe they know something that we didn't know. Like maybe they talked to the company and the company was just like, we can't fix it that quickly. So it would just leave people vulnerable for a prolonged period of time. Because as we know, a lot of people don't keep up with the current state of their device. Like no one's going to their, like in this case, it wasn't baby monitors. It was just in-home
This was a
surveillance.
camera, yeah.
Yeah.
So I brought up the baby monitors as a previous. It was a
Right,
previous time that they reported. They were expedient in their reporting. Is why I
right,
brought up
right.
the baby monitors. Yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe the baby monitor company just had a more robust team that could fix it faster. Maybe, like at the end of the day, you're not supposed to be beholden to the company, like you said, they're beholden to us. So you're supposed to report it, within a certain threshold of time. Like this was exceeded all of those time limits. Um, but again, like maybe they knew, like the company was like, we just can't fix it. We need to onboard some people. We need to do some things, and then to disclose it would just leave them more vulnerable for longer. Because the people who do read what is vulnerable and what isn't patched are people, are the bad actors. Um, so perhaps it was not well known and it was not being exploited to their, like, I don't know how those metrics are even captured. Like, do they know if it was being exploited heavily or not? Like maybe it was just something very obscure and they're like, well, no one really knows about this, so we can leave it out there for a little bit longer. Either way, not right, but just trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess. The play devil's advocate here, why their timing was different, because like maybe the baby monitor company was like, yeah, we can fix this in a day or two, versus Wyze. But either way,
For 3 years.
consistency, it puts your what's the word I'm trying to look for, credibility in
Reputation. Yeah,
doubt.
there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is kind of in doubt now in that regard.
But 3 years though, that's my thing, right? From March 2019 to almost 3 years to January 2022. Like I don't. There comes a point where you check up every so often, right? Like if you don't hear
Right.
back from somebody, like you check up every so often, be like, hey, just reminding you that I didn't forget, right?
That is a huge period of time though. Like, yeah, that is not 90 days. Like 3 days versus 90 days. It's years. So I do get that as well. So yeah, I don't know. Like maybe just drop off their radar. They're just like, that's not very important. Like maybe they have a list of priorities as well. Like we'll report on this, and then it kept dropping down their list. That's still not excusable. Like just push the message out.
But what's to say? So here's the thing. So what's to say that that company that should have forced the change that, let's say your example of them not having a large enough team to address it, right? Or even the expertise. This should have been what made them say, okay, we need to think differently about how our
Right.
cybersecurity team is going to be,
Put the
right?
pressure on them so they would fix it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very true. So again, just trying to play devil's advocate, but yeah, that's a long period of time, and it's all about consistency. So I don't know. We'll see what, like they're a big company. Like they'll like, we're the only ones reporting about this, aside from Robbie. So I think they will be okay. But yeah, there is something to be said about their consistency, especially when they're supposed to be beholden to us, not to the companies that they tell on. So I definitely get that. Definitely an interesting article. Like I was just looking into in-home surveillance, and now it's putting me giving me a little bit of pause. So I will do more research before I potentially get one of these cameras. So uh, but with that being said, I'll go ahead and end the episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please continue to like, share, subscribe. Again, Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday's discussion, Thursday Ask Us SP, and then Friday everything else. So hit up the social medias. All of our social medias are our name. So the other side of the firewall. You can hit me up personally. I'm at Rai Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and TikTok. And Levon is at Levon Maynard on Twitter. So stay safe, stay secure.